Ladies and gentlemen, I hope Mitch McConnell recovers quickly. I hope he has a speedy recovery and that he's fine and healthy and back to work and doesn't, have to leave his leadership position in the Senate because of what he's experienced with the fall. Now, of course, I have a different political viewpoint than Mitch McConnell, okay? I'm voting for Trump. I did 2 years ago. I will a year and a half from now. But that doesn't mean that I want anything bad, God forbid, to take place. I want him to be healthy, safe, happy. God bless Mitch McConnell. Okay, that being said, I want to read you Fox News. McConnell detractors right and left go after Senate leader after his fall. Time for him to retire. Senator Mitch McConnell, 81, is receiving treatment. Okay, Trump troubles, McConnell absence create GOP leadership vacuum. This is The Hill today. And so the reality is, because of recent events, and again, I want him to be safe and happy and back to work, even though I totally disagree with a lot of what he's done. The time frame for him to continue leading Republicans in the Senate and deciding the future of Republicans in the Senate as the Senate minority leader, or eventually when Trump Republicans take back the Senate or take the Senate the way they've taken the House, as Senate majority leader in the future, I don't believe that's going to take place. He probably will not ever be, because of his age, because of the recent fall. And again, I wish him only the best, but he probably will not ever be Senate Majority Leader again. He'll probably retire before then. If you read these articles, not only are there people saying, hey, look, you know what? He should go. He's too old. But these articles are also saying that he experienced something quite serious. And again, I hope he gets better and has a speedy recovery and is safe and healthy. But the reality is that he's 81. And the reality is that there's new leadership in the House of Representatives. McConnell represents the Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld Republican Party. When people say, oh, well, there's the Make America Great Again people. Well, those people are 70 plus million. That's the entire Republican Party. Okay, the entire Republican Party is Trump. It's not Mitch McConnell or Paul Ryan or Adam Kinzinger or Liz Cheney. These are people, it's not the Lincoln Project. These are people who wish that they could go back to Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld. That will never happen again. There will never again be a Bush, Cheney, or Rumsfeld type of Republican Party, because there's no difference between the Schumer and Biden and Pelosi fiasco we have now. When people say, well, of course there's a difference, there's no difference in terms of foreign policy, in terms of major economic decisions, trade deals. There's not much of a difference in terms of the penchant for never-ending military conflict. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. The reason that Trump is different, okay, is because with Schumer, with McConnell, with Pelosi or Paul Ryan, they're fine with never-ending military conflict as long as media and, an alliance in Europe, as long as all the pieces of the intelligence agencies, this is a template, a rubric a roadmap towards endless wars. As long as media and intel agencies and they can try their best to manipulate public opinion polls, they'll justify any military action forever. This is one primary difference between Trump and Kinzinger and Cheney, both of whom voted for Trump in Congress. They voted alongside Trump when they were in Congress over 90% of the time. That 10% is a world of difference. If you want to say the 10% or the ideals or the value system that Trump has, that Kinzinger, Cheney, Pelosi, and others don't have. And you might say, oh, value system, he has no values. Oh. Democrats might say, oh, Trump has no values. Or media might say, or never Trump Republicans. Like, well, if you go to hagoodman.com, read my writing in The Hill, The Huffington Post, Salon, The Jerusalem Post, The Federalist, and other publications, hit subscribe to this channel. You might say, well, what? That was a terrible segue. Not really, because I used to be the biggest Bernie Sanders booster on the internet, according to The Huffington Post. I was the unofficial scribe of Sanders' most hardcore voters, according to The Washington Post. Okay? My writing in The Huffington Post, Salon, The Hill, was read hundreds of thousands of times. Each article was. And shared on Facebook and Twitter hundreds of thousands of times. Okay? For like almost every article I wrote in 2015, 2016. Well, why was that? I truly believed at that time that Bernie Sanders would actually be the Donald Trump of 2019 or 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019. His last year in office, you can't blame Trump. You had Democrats, media, experts, bureaucrats pushing to tank the U.S. economy. We didn't have to do all. It was a serious issue. Trump's last year in office, tanking the U.S. economy, causing toilet paper runs. Well, now we're seeing bank runs. We're still suffering from the apoplectic and maniacal decision-making pertaining to a very serious issue. It's so sad and unfortunate that our country has to abide by the apoplectic decisions of people who are almost always yelling that, oh my God, the experts agree with us, while at the same time silencing experts that don't agree in a fabricated consensus that everybody can see is a public relations stunt. But anyway, Bernie Sanders is a political creature. Trump is not. Biden is purely a political creature. Trump is not. You can say, well, Donald Trump is mean and he insults people. Okay, well, President Obama utilized his intel agencies to go after an incoming president. Is that nice? Is that a nice thing to do? And then Democrats deceive themselves. President Obama had nothing to do with anything. Why, James Clapper and John Brennan and the Honorable James Comey went after Trump themselves because, well, he could have been working with Russia, and that's a big thing. Trump got set up and framed by people who didn't like him, and half the country was all too willing to accuse him of something he didn't do, just like they were all too willing to accept a shutdown in the economy, like they're all too willing. Half the country will accept anything, anytime, just to fit in. The other half of the country will vote Trump. Okay? That's the difference between Mitch McConnell and Trump. Half the country, including the never-Trump Republicans, will look at Trump and say, he's a narcissist, as they then vote for people who utilize government to destroy their adversaries. Who apparently those people are not narcissists. They're very good people. They're wonderful people. Trump is who he is. I am who I am. Like Popeye the Sailor Man. That's Trump is who he is. He doesn't pretend to be something he's not. He's a great family man. Okay, he goes, oh, Stormy. Well, you know what? His family loves him. Okay? People make mistakes. Just ask Bill Clinton and I think about 30 Democrats I can Hunter, okay. His family loves him. His wife and family and kids love him. He achieved more Abraham Accords, Doha Agreement, first president set foot in North Korea. We had record low poverty with Trump. What did Trump do to you, Democrats, to destroy your souls? We had record low poverty with Trump in 2019. We had record highs in household median income. Life was better under Donald Trump. Like, objectively. The hysteria, people were, I'm afraid. What's going to happen? It's like, oh my God. You've convinced yourself he's the Antichrist because you don't like him. Because Joe Scarborough said he's bad. Because Anderson Cooper or CNN or MSNBC, and they all said he's a bad person. The Washington Post, New York Times, they're going to say the same thing. Jimmy Kimmel is going to say the same thing as the Washington Post, which will say the same thing as MSNBC, and the same thing as Twitter's old safety and trust and safety team. It's a public relations machine, okay? It's a collective groupthink mentality that is fostered every single day. Do you want to know why the New York Post was censored? Because the truth about the Democratic Party, DNC emails, Hunter's laptop, makes you vote Trump. Think about that for a second. The truth about Democrats, which they try desperately to hide, will make anyone vote Trump. And why do you think that they, this whole thing with canceling people and economic repercussions, if you say something, nobody listens to Democrats really on anything, whether it's ideology or a certain type of decorum now in everything from society to language to nobody listens to Democrats. They really don't. Now, there are wonderful, awesome people who are Democrats, fine, but foreign policy, terrible, catastrophe. We're 90 seconds to midnight. Economic policy, we have bank runs that are about to take place again, God forbid, and it's going to be worse. Mitch McConnell is a part of this process. Trump Republicans could have had the Senate. He would have much rather had a never Trumper in Alaska. Anyway, give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now. Speedy recovery to Mitch McConnell. He'll likely retire very soon, according to these reports. Give me your thoughts. Thank you. I'll be back in a couple of hours. By the way, keep sharing these segments. We're at 204,000 subscribers, everybody. We're at 204,000 subscribers to my 12-minute crowd. Thank you.